Welcome everyone to today's show. In today's episode, I'll be breaking down the latest technical analysis as well as breaking news. This just in, BRICS to officially abandon the US dollar for trade settlements. Quoting Max Keiser, this is what happens. The BRICS, following up on Russia's big win in the Ukraine, will launch a gold-backed currency. The reaction from NATO countries will be fatally panic, print fiat money. Also in today's show, analyst issues a dire warning for Bitcoin and says Bitcoin price can plunge below the 2022 lows. I'll be breaking down these targets, as well as Glassnode founders predict Bitcoin will soar to new highs sooner than expected. And I'll be giving you a hint. It's a six-figure target. Send it and let's go. As well as ex-Goldman Sachs executive Raoul predicts crypto hits $10 trillion valuation after family offices and institutions arrive. We'll also be discussing breaking news. The Bitcoin halving can take the Bitcoin price action to $148,000 per coin by July 2025, according to Terra Capital. We'll also be discussing our main story of the day, and that's Fidelity, one of the largest asset managers in the world. They're predicting the Bitcoin price to touch $100 million. I'll be sharing their date as well as their latest analysis. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more in today's show. And welcome to everyone just joining us and tuning in. A quick reminder to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you like receiving daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, just like this. Also, quick reminder, I just launched the new crypto news alerts clips channel where I'll be uploading new clips about Bitcoin each and every day. I highly encourage you to subscribe and support the movement. And of course, I greatly appreciate everyone's support. Welcome everyone just tuning in. This is pod episode number 1381. I'm your host JV, and today is August 24th, 2023. Checking out our market watch, which you can see here on the screen. Unfortunately, we didn't hit 27,000, though we got quite close yesterday. Today we corrected back in the red, with Bitcoin barely holding on to 26,000 as support, down 2.5% for the day. We also have Ether down 2.5%, trading at roughly $1,650. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, the current crypto market cap sits just above that $1 trillion milestone, with roughly 30 billion in volume in the past 24 hours, with the Bitcoin dominance at 48.3% and the Ether dominance at 18.9%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers in the past 24 hours, we have Bone leading the pack, no pun intended, up 12.5%, trading at $1.43, followed by Render, up 2.5%, trading at $1.46, followed by Immutable, up just 1%, trading at 58 cents, as virtually all the major alts are currently correcting and in the red, as we can see here on Crypto Bubbles. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, one of my favorite indicators, shows we're currently rated a 41 in fear. Yesterday was a 37, last week a 50, and last month a 50 in neutral. So there you have it. Welcome to everyone just joining us for our live stream today. I appreciate all the live support as we receive here each and every day. And without further ado, let's now break down our Bitcoin technical analysis and check out the charts and what's popping with the King Crypto in the markets. After last week's massacre that brought Bitcoin from about that 29,000 level to 25.3, which is a new 2-month low within a single day, the asset started to show enhanced signs of stagnation. Now, the next several days, including the typically less volatile weekend, were quite boring, with the Bitcoin price standing at around 26,000, which is precisely where we're at the time of this recording. Now, the only more notable move came yesterday when Bitcoin fell by over 500, but recovered those losses almost immediately. And as such, it had calmed at around 26,000 before the bull stepped in on the gas pedal and pushed it north $800, which resulted in a 6-day high, which sits at $26,800. So as of right now, Bitcoin has lost some steam, but it's still over, practically broke even for the day. We're down 2.5% at this time. And also we can see the altcoins obviously getting wrecked as well. So the altcoins suffered just as badly and even worse than Bitcoin, plummeting last week, and they failed to produce any substantial gains for the following days. And I'm actually curious, which altcoins are you currently bullish on, if any? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. And now let's actually check out this tweet from Watcher Guru, who points out just in the BRICS to officially abandon the US dollar for trade settlements. And Max Keiser wrote, this is what happens. The BRICS, following up on Russia's big win in the Ukraine, will launch a gold-backed currency. The reaction from NATO countries will be fatally panic, print fiat money as that money printer continued to go. He also said that this is announcement number one, abandon the US dollar. Next, they'll announce a common gold-backed currency. And he quoting himself here from Nayib Bukele, Max is always right. So preach, and shout out to Max Kaiser and Stacey Herbert of the Kaiser Report. Now, how many of you have been following BRICS? We have been covering this story here on the show. Many nations all united together for the de-dollarization of the US dollar and introducing a new currency, which is allegedly going to be gold back. So it'll be interesting to see how all this plays out. All I know is this: only keep in fiat what you're willing to lose. Take that to the bank. Pun intended. Now let's break down our next story of the day and discuss new lows, which could be incoming as per crypto analysts. I'm going to be sharing some of these targets, and then we'll get into some of our bullish price predictions. So I like to cover the lows as well as the highs. Here we go. Bennett tells his 111,000 followers on X the Bitcoin can plunge by nearly 50% from the current price. Holy moly, wouldn't that take us south of 13,000? Using a chart showing Bitcoin had fallen out of the ascending channel that it has been stuck in for about a decade, Bennett says Bitcoin could plunge to slightly below that support level of $14,000, acting as a strong resistance zone between 2018 and 2020. Now, I like to point out, as you all should know, the current low for this cycle is 15,700 we hit in the fourth quarter of last year. So this analyst is ultimately saying we could potentially expect a new low of $14,000. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the analyst. Quoting him here, I posted this Bitcoin chart showing macro resistance at 29,000 to 33,000 back in March. 31,800 was the recent swing high. That's right, it's the annual high for this year's 31.8. And he goes on to share, guess what comes next? Well, according to Bennett, a Bitcoin plunge could be set off by the S&P 500 falling by double-digit figures. Quoting him here, what could trigger it? The SPX doing this, correcting by over a quarter of its value. It'll be interesting to see if August finishes as a bearish engulfing month. Now, earlier in the month, it's also worth noting, Bennett predicted that the S&P 500 stock index would plummet if it failed to go above 4,610 points reached in July. Now, the 4,610 level is SPX lowest relative high to the 4,820 points recorded back in January of last year. Quoting the analyst again, a 27% dump from the SPX is more than possible if this confirms as a lower high. We have already seen significant breakdowns from other indices and big names like Apple, so don't rule it out. Imagine the carnage in the crypto market if this materializes. So there you have it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the analyst. I like to keep all scenarios open for a possibility or probability. I think it is less probable to happen than to happen, but even if there is a 10 or 15 or 20% chance of that playing out, you should be prepared. Now with Bitcoin, it's great because when the market drops, you seize the moment, keep stacking them sats, BTFD, DCA, dollar cost average. And when the price goes up, you just count your blessings and you're grateful that you were stacking sats during the bear market. So either way, whatever comes ahead, we're going to capitalize and continue winning because that's what we do here on Crypto News Alerts. Now let's discuss this $144,000 price prediction by Glassnode founder in 2024, which is right around the corner. We also have the Bitcoin halving right around the corner. So let's break this down, shall we? The co-founders at the crypto analytics firm Glassnode think Bitcoin can soar towards a new all-time high faster than many analysts and traders expect. Full send it. Let's go. Glassnode co-founders who share the Nigentropic whatever you pronounce that word, handle on X, predict that the US dollar index will peak at 106. The US dollar index is a measure of the value of the US dollar against a basket of 6 major currencies valued at 103 at this time, according to Market Watch. Now, the founders of Glassnode predict that the US dollar index hitting its peak will set the stage for the prime Bitcoin environment. Send it. A peaking US dollar index suggests that investors are starting to make their capital work in risk assets, such as cryptocurrency. Quoting them here, up next, Bitcoin aiming for $37,000 before soaring higher in the autumn, as outlined right here in this chart. I sure do hope they're right. Now, the Glassnode co-founders also share a chart that projects Bitcoin will surge more than $144,000 per coin by early 2024. As outlined right here in this chart, you can see that top peak is hitting 144,000. Wouldn't you love to see that? They also go on to share that oversold indicators hint at potential short-term gains. However, keep an eye out for the risk signal plateauing at 100, suggesting a consolidation phase until the demand dynamic shift, which is outlined again here in this chart. Now, with Bitcoin currently trading at 26,000, the top-ranked crypto asset is roughly 62% down from its all-time high of more than 69,000, which it achieved back in November of 2021. That's right. So great time to be stacking sats at a 60% discount, I'd say. Wouldn't you agree? Let me know. And how many of you have been doing just that and buying the dips? Holla at your boy in the live chat. Like I said, at the end of the show, we'll be reading everyone's comments out loud. Now let's talk about the latest from the ex-Goldman Sachs executive, the one and only Raoul. He's predicting a $10 trillion market cap. As you know, the current crypto market cap sits just above 1 trillion. So he's ultimately saying the entire crypto market is to 10x. Then we'll break down Pantera Capital's latest 148,000 price prediction, and followed by Fidelity, one of the largest asset managers in the world, predicting the Bitcoin price to hit $100 million per coin. Then we'll dive into our live Q&A. Former Goldman Sachs exec Raoul predicts that the total market cap for cryptos will soon soar to 10 trillion as institutions pour into the digital asset space. In a new interview with Binance's sales manager, the macro expert says financial institutions are likely to follow family offices, which typically take on higher than average risks into crypto investing. Quoting the analyst here, I think in this next phase, the next bull market or the next business cycle, we'll see a mass onboarding of institutions. I have seen this space before. Usually it's the family offices that are first to take the risks, and we have all seen that in this space. Many family offices were the first to invest because they are freer to do what they wanted with their own capital. As I have said, most of the institutions have done work, including the investment banks. And so now they just need price confirmation and then they'll be in. So I think we'll see a lot of that. Powell believes that institutional investment in crypto will be large enough to drive the total market cap of digital assets to more than $10 trillion, more than triple its $3 trillion market cap peak, which was hit back in 2021. Quoting him again here, the asset class at peak was $3 trillion in 2021, the same year we hit the all-time high of 69,000, just FYI. It's almost impossible for the retail investors to continue this pace of adoption. It needs institutional capital as well, which drives out the ongoing adoption curve. So my view is still by the end of this cycle, this space is probably $10 trillion plus. And that happens because of the institutions coming into the space, offering more products to their clients. And he continues, so institutions coming into the space tends to mean that BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, offers a product to their network of advisors, so it allows more money to come into the space via different mechanisms. An example, aggregated mechanisms of funds as opposed to individual accounts being open on Binance, for example. So there you have it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the macro guru that we're likely to see a $10 trillion crypto market cap, more than 3x the peak that we reached in 2021. Let me know in the comments below. And to watch this video he did entitled Binance VIP Voices Episode 1 with Raoul from Real Vision, check the show notes below the video in the description. And now for our next story of the day, and that's Pantera Capital predicting the Bitcoin price to soar above $140,000 in the coming times ahead. Let's break down this outlook, and then we'll cover the latest from Fidelity and their $100 million Bitcoin price prediction. Here we go. And if you'd love to see a $150,000 Bitcoin price for the cycle peak, let me know. In its latest blockchain letter released on August 22nd, executives at the crypto asset manager doubled down on their Bitcoin bullish price forecast for 2024 and beyond. Now, the Bitcoin price performance depends heavily on its halving cycles. Pantera Capital argues with the next due within the coming 12 months. In fact, the next halving is scheduled to be in April of 2024, less than 9 months. Take that. The firm is betting that historical trends shall continue. Bitcoin, it notes, tends to put in a cycle bottom and top roughly equal lengths of time from each block subsidy halving. Facts, which cuts the number of Bitcoin paid to miners per block by 50%. Quoting the firm here, Bitcoin has historically bottomed 477 days prior to the halving, climbed leading into it, and then exploded to the upside. Afterward, the post-halving rallies have averaged 480 days from the halving to the peak of that next bull cycle. That same theory suggests that the 2022 bear market bottom marked the current Bitcoin price cycle bottom. Quoting them here, if history were to repeat itself, the price of Bitcoin should have troughed December 30th, 2022. And looking forward, by the halving date in April of 2024, Bitcoin could be trading at around 35,000, something that is still on track to accomplish. I'd say that's quite conservative, considering that's just a few more thousand from where we're currently at. However, what happens in the 480 days afterward involves not only a new all-time high, but so much more. Quoting Pantera here, the 2016 halving decreased the supply of new Bitcoins, only 1/3 as much as the first. But interestingly, it had exactly 1/3 the price impact. The 2020 halving reduced the supply of new Bitcoins by 43%. Relative to the previous halving, it had a 23% as a big impact on price. Pantera stated, the next halving is expected to occur April 20th, 2024, roughly, what is that, 8 months out? Since most Bitcoiners are now in circulation, or Bitcoins, each halving will be almost exactly half as a big reduction in the new supply. If history were to repeat, the next halving would see Bitcoin rising to 35,000 per coin before the halving and 148,000 after the halving. Now, 480 days from the April 2024 halving makes Bitcoin scheduled to hit its next all-time high by July of 2025. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Pantera. Now, Pantera is far from alone in predicting a six-figure Bitcoin price high beyond next year. We also have optimistic forecasts, including those based on Bitcoin's so-called lowest price forward metric, which this month showed Bitcoin passing the $100,000 mark by 2026. And naturally, there are a lot of bullish metrics predicting six figures plus, including the stock to flow. Others also believe that $100,000 is possible, not before the next year's halving, but some analysts are saying we can hit 100,000 before the halving. So I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments right down below. Welcome everyone just tuning in to the live show. Now let's break down our final breaking story of the day, and that's a $100 million price prediction per coin for Bitcoin as per Fidelity, one of the world's largest asset management companies. They control currently over $4 trillion in assets under management. The other year, they were maybe as high as $8 trillion. So, it fluctuates, but again, one of the largest asset managers in the world. Let's break this down, shall we? While several retail analysts have been given some crazy targets for Bitcoin, this time investment giant Fidelity has made some mind-blowing predictions in its recently held very special webinar. Just FYI, this prediction was made back in September of 2021 on 100 million by the year 2035. And a few months later, he ultimately said, I think we're a little bearish. Let's raise it 10x to $1 billion per coin by the year 2038. So I'm going to be breaking both of these predictions down for you here in just a moment. Now, Fidelity has been in the crypto space for a while. The financial giant has its own crypto subsidiary offering enterprise-grade Bitcoin custodial services to institutions, drawing inferences through the stock to flow model by Plan B. Fidelity has put forward a 100 million price target for Bitcoin by the year 2035. And furthermore, it sees Bitcoin touching a 1 million price target in a decade's time. Bitcoin's exchange guide was the first to report about it. Shout out to the Bitcoin exchange guide. Now, Jurrien Timmer, director of global macro, was the host of the webinar, and he shared several charts helping the audience to understand Bitcoin. Now, is it even a realistic expectation for Bitcoin to touch that $100 million mark? Well, although we have 15 years of the time horizon to touch these targets, it seems unrealistic at this point, one of the crypto analysts on Reddit noted. And furthermore, Timmer also shared charts showing the Bitcoin adoption curve based on its active address count. He also showed an interesting comparison with internet users, broadband subscriptions, as well as mobile phone users. And interestingly, the webinar put some light on the purchasing power of different asset classes. Stocks were the clear winner, followed by bonds and cash. The purchasing power of the US dollar stood the least. The yellow metal, aka physical gold, isn't even doing better at $94, whereas the inflation index has skyrocketed to 65. And after staying under pressure for the past 2 days, Bitcoin is on another attempt for 50,000. And again, this was going all the way back to 2021. So a few months later, Jurrien Timmer, head of global macro at Fidelity, makes another very interesting prediction that the Bitcoin price is not going to 100 million no more. It's going to $1 billion per coin by the year 2038. So let's talk about how realistic this could be. To support his forecast, Timmer employed a combination of models and charts with a particular focus of the stock to flow model and his own demand model. These analytical tools form the foundation for his primary prediction, and you could actually see in this chart brought to you by Fidelity. The above demand model employs Metcalfe's law, and according to this, the number of its users grows linearly. A network's value, or by inference, the Bitcoin price grows geometrically. This means that the utility and the adoption of Bitcoin are expected to grow more rapidly compared to its network of users, exchanges, ATMs, and participating retailers. Therefore, this model predicted the Bitcoin price to reach $1 million by 2030. And let's talk about that really quick, because we also have other major influencers in the space, including ARK Invest's Cathie Wood, also predicting a $1 million Bitcoin price. We have Michael Saylor, we have Max Kaiser, we have Plan B of the stock to flow model, and the list goes on and on. But anyways, back to this prediction. In contrast, Timmer's stock to flow supply model noted the event of significant price surges during each halving event. Consequently, when considering this model in conjunction to other factors, it foresees a price range of $1 million to $10 million for Bitcoin by the year 2030, virtually the same prediction as the stock to flow model. Timmer's demand model is more inclined towards reflecting the bottom of the Bitcoin price, but on the other hand, the stock to flow model seems to provide a better approximation for the peak of the king coin. However, it's worth noting that the disparity between these two models widens significantly beyond the year 2030. The reason behind the gap is expected to be the changing value of the dollar. Can anyone say hyperinflation coming to the USD? Timmer proposes that the value of the dollar undergoes fluctuations over time when compared to other assets. For instance, if $1 was invested in stocks during the 18th century, its present day value would be about $4 billion. That's crazy, right? And similarly, Timmer implied that if $1 million is invested today, it can grow to $1 billion in a span of 20 years. So he's virtually saying, want to become a billionaire? Just invest $1 million into Bitcoin and HODL be thy name. This further revealed that the purchasing power of the dollar has significantly reduced due to the factors like inflation as well as depreciation. Thus, Timmer's statement implied that keeping a fixed amount of dollars for many years may lead to a reduced purchasing power due to the assets changing value. And I think he makes a great point, as Michael Saylor called it. It's like a melting ice cube keeping fiat currency in the bank. It just makes no sense whatsoever. Now check it. Over the last few years, an increasing number of companies are taking over the $1 trillion market cap mark. As a result, it is foreseeable that in the next 2 decades, 20 years, the concept of a $1 trillion valuation will become more common, so much that individuals themselves could be worth $1 trillion or even more. The scale of numbers may even reach the quadrillion range. I already know for a fact people like Michael Saylor and CZ, the Binance CEO, will become trillionaires, mark my words. And despite Bitcoin's historical growth, it has recently faced a significant setback. Bitcoin's network activity had diminished. Well, again, this is going tracing that back. Higher network activity likely increased transaction volume. Well, something I have to point out, yesterday as I covered in the show, we just reached a new difficulty adjustment, the highest it's ever been. The hash rate continues to go up, and as Max Kaiser commonly says, the Bitcoin price follows the hash rate. So we'll likely see how the Bitcoin price will likely play out, by the time of the next halving, which again is 8-9 months away in 2024. And then of course by 2030, will the Bitcoin price be $1 million or $10 million? Will the US dollar be hyperinflated by that time? And could this be a realistic scenario by the year 2038? One Bitcoin, but we can literally hit an insane $1 billion price value for the King crypto. Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. And now let's break down our live Q&A. Massive shout out to everyone today in the live chat. Bitcoin Trini, JW the Laker, 21 mil, Digital Dankness, John Dykes, what is up? Good to see the fam. Spycraft UK, what's up? What's up? What's up? Let me know how everything is going. Relaxing and meditation music, welcome. Appreciate you tuning in. Los Angeles in the building. Shout out to Jack Jiong. I appreciate you supporting the show. Relaxing says, I am holding ETH since November of 2021 and have not traded once, but traded over 1,400 times from May to November of 2021. Sigh. Good Lord. Let's get to 100,000 price action so I can go to the party with you guys in Puerto Rico. That's right. And a reminder, we are going to have a $100,000 celebration fiesta in Puerto Rico to celebrate the 6-figure price of the Bitcoin price action, which will more than likely occur sometime between 2024 and 2025. And in fact, I have a Discord server, which is on, it's open for everyone watching right now. And I'm going to be creating a channel specifically entitled 100K Bitcoin Fiesta Puerto Rico, where we can start masterminding the party. And of course, we're going to be looking forward to seeing you all there. And also a quick reminder to help support the channel. If you're getting value out of these live streams, make sure to like this video, just smash the like button. It's free to do so. And also subscribe to the channel, especially if you're not already subscribed, as it does help out tremendously, of course, and will only help us continue to grow. And as I mentioned a little earlier in the show, we also recently just launched the new channel, which is called Crypto News Alerts Clips. I highly encourage you to support it just by subscribing. That's all you need to do, as each and every day I'm going to be uploading clips from these live streams to the new channel, so we have some form of backup. And for people who are more interested in more concise content versus the long show with the Q&A, etc., etc. And back to the live chat, $100,000 full send. Let's freaking go. PR Fiesta, which reminds me, yeah, 100% we will be there. I prefer the $1 million party, and I reminded Jack we may have to have the $1 million party on a private yacht. Then I started thinking a little further, and it's like, maybe we shouldn't have a bunch of Bitcoin millionaires on a private or a private jet, because something could happen and we can all disappear. You know what I mean? Probably not the best idea. Smashed it. Hopefully everyone will as well. I appreciate that. As I said, it helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm, and your support means the world. Also, more recently, we launched our Crypto News Alerts Patreon. If you want to help support the show in that way, you can become a monthly contributor, and you also get a lot of really cool perks, such as exclusive Discord channels, etc. If anyone's interested in checking that out, it's patreon.cryptonewsalerts.net. And the Discord is discord.cryptonewsalerts.net. And the Clips channel is clips.cryptonewsalerts.net. Are you starting to get the gist? And all of those links, of course, are in the show notes in the description each and every day. Also, you'll notice after the live is over, I include all the timestamps for all the segments of the show, so you can dive right into whatever segment you want to take advantage of. Welcome, LFC Liverpool. We got Tony Jeffries in the building. Good to see you, fam. Jeff Keller, what's poppin'? Warren Buffett bought Bitcoin. Well, I know Warren Buffett continues to purchase Bitcoin-related stocks, so he has indirect exposure, which doesn't surprise me, as he was doing his campaign bashing Bitcoin, calling it rat poison squared. He was taking advantage of this. I mean, don't listen to what they say, but watch what they do. You know what I mean? Because they're here to mislead us, kind of like Kramer. You know, we all say inverse Kramer, whatever Kramer does, do the opposite, because he is specifically put in that place on television to mislead investors so that you get wrecked. So that's like almost every time, whatever he predicts, do the opposite, because virtually the opposite occurs almost every single time. If you follow Kramer, you already know what I'm saying. Have you have it up on the big screen? That's what's up. Sometimes I'll put YouTube up on the big screen as well. I got a projector. It's awesome. Love it. Welcome, Bitcoin Maximus. Good to see you, fam. Joseph Kaiser, what's up, brother? Bitcoin is the future. Watching your channel for the last 7 months. Rock on. I greatly appreciate your support, fam, and thank you for tuning in so religiously. Great respect. JV, we closed the year at 30,000 plus or minus. That's a great question. Of course, I'm going to go with the bullish scenario. I think we'll blow past 30,000 very easily, considering we've already broke 32,000 a few weeks back. We hit almost 32. I think it was 31.8 and some change. So I am very bullish. I don't think we will hit 6 figures likely this year, though there is a probability. I think it's not probable. It could happen, but I don't think likely. I do like to believe it's going to be above 30. I'd like to also believe it'll be above 40, and somewhere between that $40,000 to $50,000 range. That's my 2 Satoshis. Let me know what you guys think in the comments right down below. Welcome, Dankness. Someone is buy Sheeb's governance token. That means someone is trying to buy more votes. That is very interesting. What does all that mean? Joseph says, I am bullish on Shiba Inu and Bitcoin. Word up. Jeff says, Litecoin, Sheeb, and MPL. What does MPL stand for? Let me know. Welcome, Howard. Paper money that might be worth something. Gold. That's right, because you got to remember gold and silver, there's so many derivatives. I think quoting Max here, whatever for example, the silver supply is, there's 50 times the supply in derivatives, because derivatives are weapons of financial mass destruction. This, my friend, is a fact. And that's also quoting a term, one of the greatest financial investors of all time, Warren Buffett. He said that. He said that derivatives are financial weapons of mass destruction, and they truly are. That's how they continue to manipulate the precious precious metal markets through derivatives. And that's virtually what they're trying to do with Bitcoin futures. They don't need to hold the underlying asset because it's traded with leverage. And Gary Gensler and the SEC, they know this. That's why they keep approving the futures ETFs while keep pushing back the spot ETFs, which is what we all want. We know it's in the best interest of the investors. We know it's going to help usher in trillions of dollars into the Bitcoin ecosystem. But Gensler and his buddies over on Wall Street, they're not ready for that yet. I think they're giving their buddies like BlackRock an opportunity to stack sats on the low and get their positions before we go parabolic in 2024 leading up to the halving. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree. John Dykes, stack in my stacks, find the dip. Do what it do. I watch DXY chart like a hawk. Over the long term, it always seems to trade directly contrary to BTC. It does seem to be that way, but I think eventually, Bitcoin is on its own vector, though there are a lot of similarities, and I think Bitcoin will just continue to do its own thing. But you do make a great point. When the dollar is weak, Bitcoin is strong. And when the dollar is strong, Bitcoin tends to correct. It's just the nature of the beast. BTFD, Mr. Still Stacking, word up. Ja provides, says Ron P. Ja bless, much love, much respect. Steve says these predictions are meaningless. Even with dates when they are this high, most of us will not be alive when Bitcoin hits $100 million. Speak for yourself. I most absolutely will be alive, and I hope you're alive, and I pray that you are alive by that day. Today's prediction from Fidelity, one of the largest asset managers in the world. They control over $4 trillion in assets under management. They say by the year 2038. So what is that? Another 15, 16 years from now, hang in there. You could still be around as well. Bitcoin will outlast all assets, up or down, does not matter. Word up, Stephen Pack. And also, just to throw some more incentives out there, Steve, not only did I cover a 100 million prediction, today I also covered a $1 billion prediction. I also covered a $148,000 prediction. I covered a $140,000 prediction. And I even covered a $13,000 or $14,000 prediction. So we're covering all scenarios. Be prepared. You know what I mean? Regardless what's going to happen. I am not Nostradamus. No one making predictions is, but we could at least start to prepare for what could potentially happen. And that's what this thing is all about. If you want to continue to win, and as pointed out in yesterday's episode, every Bitcoin hodler who has been holding for 4 or 5 years or more are in the green significantly by a factor of 3x. So just keep stacking them stats, dollar cost average, you know the name of the game, and sit back and have patience. And you will be sleeping like a baby even through these small market crashes where the Bitcoin price corrects 10%. Because if you can't handle the 10% dips, you don't deserve the 100% God candle gains. And I truly mean that because we witnessed it last cycle. This is reality. We saw Bitcoin rise from 16,000 in the year 2020. And by the end of 2021, $69,000. A lot of people said that could never happen. We're never going to get back above that 20,000 level that we hit in 2017. But how many bears and naysayers were proven wrong? Bitcoin will continue to do its thing, and it's basic supply and demand, the stock to flow. If there is a finite limited supply and there is a high demand, what's going to happen to the prices? Bitcoin is the most honest, transparent market that there is because they can't print more of the finite limited supply coin. So, I mean, when you have an honest market, incorruptible money, the most pristine form of money to ever exist, and the demand continues and we continue to have a supply shock due to the halvings and the rewards being decreased and cut in half, and more people get introduced and orange pilled into the Bitcoin network, you already know the numbers must continue to go up. It's mathematically a certainty that the Bitcoin price will continue to gain dominance versus the dollar, while the dollar is mathematically guaranteed to continue decreasing its purchasing power because they're just going to continue to print more and more and more. So it's just the nature of the game that we play. It's a chess match. Your move. What's up? What's going on, Trini? What's up, Casey? Good to see you, fam. Appreciate you tuning in. Rodenbaugh. I had a good friend when I was younger. His last name was Rodenbaugh back in my school days, so kind of remind me there. Good to see you, Casey. Dankness says, smash them likes. It's free, and the higher praise for his journalism work. I appreciate that, fam. And again, it's the greatest support you can do besides watching the show is interacting, smashing the like, smashing the subscribe. If you're not logged in, that's the only thing that should be preventing you from doing so. So if you're not logged into your channel, go ahead and log in, support the movement. I greatly appreciate all the support, of course, 100%. The prediction is in line with other predictions for Bitcoin to hit 157,000 in 2025. I think that is a very doable target. Personally, Jeff, I think we'll be in that ballpark, hopefully a lot higher. I'd say more conservatively, I'd like to say 157 by 2025 as a cycle peak. Easy. I'm anticipating multiple six figures, but that's just JV. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Knox Bill says 10x from the bottom. Easy. Send it and let's go. Well, 10x from the bottom, what's the current bottom? 15.7. So let's just round up and say it was 16. 10x would be, wow, all-time highs above and beyond. If someone can break down the math, that'd be helpful. Yeah, much love. Yeah, we got about 300 people in the live chat just on YouTube right now. You got to love it. Much love. I appreciate it all, fam. $100 million, says Nate Sandoval. Good Lord, that's a lot of money. It sure is. So how many whole coiners are there? I'd say that is a great target, especially if you firmly believe in this, right? If you believe the Bitcoin price is going to hit $100 million per coin, I'd be doing everything in my power to become a whole coiner. If you want to be worth $100 million someday, why not? And all you got to do is hold it, meaning accumulate now, get the hard work done, and just hodl and have the patience to hold it and avoid the paper hands. Do not sell your Bitcoin to the BlackRocks of the world or the MicroStrategies. Follow the smart money. The stupid money is selling, which are the short-term hodlers, which hold, I think it's less than 150 days. The long-term hodlers continue to accumulate and adding to their positions. I like to follow the smart money personally. J-Dub was good, fam. If Bitcoin is worth $1 billion, what will the purchasing power of the dollar be? Says Nate. Great point. Is it that Bitcoin will be worth more than the dollar or worth less? I think both. It virtually means the Bitcoin price will continue gaining purchasing power against the dollar, and the dollar will eventually be phased out and no one will be using it. We're witnessing this in real time with the de-dollarization from BRICS. As Max shared earlier, they're going to be launching some sort of gold-backed currency, and I think a lot of the world leaders are no longer going to want to do business in the US dollar because it makes no logical sense to do so. So as we move away from the dollar, what we're going to usher in next? They're going to be ushering in CBDCs. We all know that is the devil in money form. We don't want money that expires with an expiration date, which they can force you to use or spend on certain things. And if they integrate it with a social credit score, which they've already talked about doing and in which already exists in places like China, if you say something bad about the government, you may not have the right to spend money on an airline ticket to visit your family in another state. Who knows? And maybe you have to spend all this money by XYZ date, or it just disappears. That's the fiat nightmare reality we're living in with CBDCs. But the good news, the silver lining, Bitcoin truly is the antidote to the CBDCs. So as long as you have Bitcoin, you won't be able to be controlled through money. As we all know, whoever controls the money controls the world. And unfortunately, the Rothschilds and powers that be have been controlling money through banking scams and central banking cartels going way back before I was even born. So it's probably likely to continue, but Bitcoin changes the game. It puts us on an equal playing field, and everyone has the opportunity to have that antidote to the CBDCs, so they're not forced into enslavement by the tyrannical powers that be. Feel me? Let me know if this relates to any of you guys. And someone may say, yo, JV, you're exaggerating. That's never going to happen. We're always going to have freedom. We'll always have sovereignty in this world. The United States is the freest country to ever exist. And I don't agree. I think the average working class is already enslaved. They're enslaved to fiat money, which dwindles in purchasing power each and every year. Right now, I mean, look at the real estate prices over the past couple of years. Just here in Puerto Rico, I've seen properties that were once $250,000 closer to $1 million now. That, my friend, is real world hyperinflation occurring in real time. And of course, the FOMC and the J Powells, they're not going to tell you how bad inflation truly is. Remember for how long they denied that it was even existing or happening? And they're just, no, inflation is transitory. It's never going to happen. Now they're admitting it, but they're making it seem a lot better than what it truly is. And even though there is no such thing as much better, it's doomsday, you know what I mean? So if you want to protect yourself against this doomsday scenario and be prepared, get the antidote. What's the antidote? Bitcoin. Trade your fiat crap ish coin, and I truly do believe that fiat currency is the ultimate ish coin. I think some of the altcoins we call shit coins are way better than the US dollar. You know what I mean? Especially if they have some sort of limited supply, because the dollar, they'll just continue to print it. It's worthless at the end of the day. It's only worth something because the military of the United States has guns, and it's backed by guns and violence and war, like we have seen. Any world leader who has gone against the US dollar, from Gaddafi to Saddam, they've all been taken out. But now we have the BRICS alignment, and they're all in agreement. Nobody wants the US dollar. Saudi Arabia, China, you name it. So it's going to be an interesting scenario to see how this all plays out. You know what I mean? I say the halving will start at 100,000. So February of 2024, that's a great time. Send it and let's go. My birthday is in February, so I wouldn't love anything more than a 6-figure Bitcoin price on my birthday, February 11th. And we shall celebrate right here in Puerto Rico. Let's go. Spycraft says the challenge is realizing your profit there once you made millions in Bitcoin, can't upload it to fiat. The fiat can't leave in Bitcoin unless it is not going to go back down ever. So that's the idea, is you keep it in Bitcoin. There is no benefit or advantage to selling your Bitcoin for fiat, because fiat is going to become more and more worthless each and every year. So I think in the future, we're not even going to be able to compare Bitcoin to dollars, because the dollars are going to be so worthless, it's not even worth comparing it. So I think more than likely, Bitcoin will be priced in things like maybe gold, silver, potentially other precious metals. We shall see. And it'll also be interesting to see which currency that the BRICS will use to back their currency. And who knows if they incorporate Bitcoin eventually. Maybe they can't stop that. It is, after all, the most honest form of money to ever exist. So if they want a true marketplace in which cannot be manipulated through futures forever, especially when there is a spot Bitcoin ETF, then they should look no further than the King Crypto. Bitcoin is the reset year before the halving. $100,000 party with JV, says Knox Bill. Let's go. What's poppin', Tom Moore? Good to see you, fam. Bring on 2030, $1 million per coin. Send it, DCA. Appreciate your support. John Dyke says Michael Saylor is the first trillionaire ever. It could be that way, or it may not be Saylor himself, but it may be his net worth of the company per se, as its MicroStrategy, which was the first publicly traded company to put Bitcoin on its balance sheet. They hold over 150,000 BTC, and Grayscale, the GBTC product, which they're trying to convert into a spot ETF, but the SEC keeps denying them, and there's an ongoing lawsuit. They control the largest amount of Bitcoin in the world with over 400,000 BTC. And now the third largest Bitcoin wallet has been identified. They're claiming, there were some claims that it was BlackRock, but I read some stories a little earlier this morning. They're now identifying it as Robinhood, the exchange. So yeah, the race is on. Game theory in full effect. Let's freaking go. Knox Bill, Kramer is the wolf in sheep's lingerie. Love that quote. I may have to put that up on X. Facts, preach. Kramer is indeed a fool. Yeah, and it's not that he is a fool, but he sold his soul to the devil, and he is a puppet. He receives large amounts of money from the powers that be to mislead investors, and he belongs in jail with Scam Bankman-Fried if it was up to me. But what are your thoughts, fam? Welcome, Ellen. It is good to see you. How you doing? Why Litecoin dumped 40% after the halving? Shouldn't it go up or not? It's a good question. Some say the halving is still not yet priced in, as the price did go down. Who knows? Typically, Litecoin leads the parabolic rally for the entire market, preceding the Bitcoin halving, as Litecoin's halving takes place before Bitcoin, as it did this time, roughly 9 months before. It'll be interesting to see how Litecoin plays out. The Bitcoin short-term price going up, says Brian, word up. Bitcoin short-term price go down makes no difference to me, as long as I can still stack them sats. They blocked ZAR on-ramp too. No way. Is ZAR the local currency in South Africa? Please confirm that with me. Mr. Still Stack and Agree JV, approving the futures ETFs long ahead of the spot is a blatant manipulation. We know this for a fact. Do not trust the regulators, fam. Late, but happy to be here for the show. Smash the like. Thank you, Steve Kingston. Appreciate that, fam. $0 GRO. DXY does share contrary movements to Bitcoin thus far. This is true. Very, very true. Lola says, when are you making a new monetary system? What would you think would happen? Not like baking a cake. That's right. Of course, they're up against an empire that has been controlling fiat currency for so long. So, of course, it's not going to be an easy battle. The fight continues. You know what I mean? Nothing is handed to us. Sometimes we have to take what is ours. JV, great job, says Doug Joseph. Appreciate that, fam. Love, send it, preach, 100%. Fiat equals the Titanic, a sinking ship, says Howard Joblo, 100%. Eric Castro, what's your average daily views in the last month? Good question. I don't know, but the episode from, I think, Monday, we got over 17,000 views for the live show. That's the best thus far. I'm hoping today's episode can surpass that with your help. We'll see how it plays out. Appreciate the support, fam. Let's go. Whole Corner Plus, Whole Coiners. That's what's up. JV for president 2024. I would never want to run for president because I value my life too much. And I know if I spoke out honestly, I'd be assassinated. That, my friend, is a fact, because I wouldn't be willing to sell my soul to mislead my people. I love people too much. I'm not going to go against Bitcoin. I'm not going to promote CBDCs, and I'll never promote injecting anything into your bloodstream, especially when you don't even know what the ingredients are that can potentially destroy you. You know what I mean? Which we have been witnessing since Novid. I'm not even going to get into that. It's a topic for another day, but there's just some things I could never sell my soul for. I could never sell my soul. So I love God. I love preaching the truth, and anything not truthful is ultimately perpetuating Satan and his lies. And that's the battle we continue to face. It is a spiritual war. I truly do believe we are human beings or spiritual beings having a human experience. And my spirit, I believe, will live on forever, just as your spirits will. And why would I sell my soul for some temporary riches, which I can't even take with me in the afterlife? To me, that makes no sense. So I'll never understand the forces of evil and the people that have all of this power and control, because it's not about the money. They just want more power and more control, because power corrupts absolutely, and absolute power absolutely corrupts. And I'm probably messing up that quote, but you get the point, you get the gist. Work equals energy. Power times time equals energy. Word up. Bitcoin for the new dollar, 100%. Let's go. Dead, you missed it with the powers. Word up. Once the spot ETF roll out, firms will get totally wrecked if they try and manipulate Bitcoin by rehypothecating Bitcoin. They hold on to behalf of their investors. That's right. It's going to be more and more common for them to try to do that, but it's not going to be plausible. I agree as well. What's up, Crypto News Alerts fan? What's up, Matthew J? Good to see you. G Mogul, welcome. Steve Dre, welcome. G says, this is why we need decentralized energy production and renewable energy. But what do I know? No, 100%. I do believe the future of energy is free energy. I know Nikolai Tesla invented this so long ago, over 100 years ago, and it's been suppressed by the oil tycoons, unfortunately. But now we have renewable energy sources such as geothermal mining, which is being taken advantage of right now by Bukele and Kaiser over in El Salvador. And I think as this technology continues to develop, there's nothing stopping, because the earth produces so much free energy. Why are we paying for it? Why are we still on fossil fuels? Makes no sense, except enriching the forces of evil which control this world. If normies bought Bitcoin and self-custodied, this would have already ended the Ponzi. Facts. That's why we all need to continue stacking stats. You know the name of the game. All feedback and an idea. You should do an interview with Kaiser on X Spaces for free. Word up, Eric. I appreciate that idea. If you guys would love to see an exclusive Crypto News Alerts interview with the one and only Max Kaiser, let me know, and maybe we'll make it happen. If we get it by popular demand, we shall make it happen. JV Preach. Much love and much respect. Yes, sir. 100% fam. I appreciate all the support. Shout out to everyone tuning in live on Rumble. As you know, we stream live every day, not only on YouTube, but simultaneously on Rumble at the same time. So shout out to all of our Rumblers, including Huddle Mike 73, as I greatly appreciate your continued support, fam. Much love and much respect. Good stuff, fam. Preach. You got it. I will continue preaching and doing my job here on this earth as God put me on this earth to do, and that's preach the truth and share the holy gospel of Satoshi and orange pill as many individuals as possible. And with your help, we will continue to do so. My personal goal is to get this YouTube channel to 1 million subscribers. Let's get the frickin' Rumble channel to 1 million followers. Let's get the podcast over on iTunes and Spotify to over 1 million downloads per month. And let's orange pill the entire world. If you feel feel more people need to hear this message, help support the movement. I greatly appreciate the support. The support all starts with you just tuning in daily. And of course, smashing the like, smashing the subscribe, and share this with some friends. Share the new channel. We created the Clips channel, not for my health. I created it to orange pill more people. So if you want to orange pill more people, help support the movement. I greatly appreciate that. And if you haven't already joined the Discord, you know what to do. Discord.cryptonewsalerts.net. Join the server, join the community. Let's go and let's freaking celebrate when this 100,000 price action occurs sooner than later. And we have our $100,000 fiesta right here in Puerto Rico. How many of you are going to be joining us? Holla. Let's go. Bring facts in the building. I second the max. Word up. Love to hear that. Thank you for all your enthusiasm and good work, JV. You're very welcome, Steve. My pleasure, fam. De nada. How about Saylor and Kaiser together? Good Lord, I may need some help. Michael Saylor blocked me on Twitter back when it was called Twitter. Two or 3 years ago, because someone made a scam post. You know, when someone is like a troll or a scammer or spammer, and they tag all the influencers in the post. And what happened was Michael Saylor unfollowed and blocked every single person who was mentioned in the thread. So I can't even see Michael Saylor's tweets, and I'm probably one of his biggest disciples, which is a tragedy in of itself. So if you guys can tag Michael Saylor and let him know to unblock JV because you blocked him under wrong pretenses, maybe we can get Michael Saylor back in communication with Crypto News Alerts, and who knows, maybe I can interview him here on the show. Now, on the other hand, me and Max are actually close on X. We chat all the time, and I love Max and his work, so we're already in communication. And of course, he supports the show as I support his show with Stacy, and do everything in my power to help spread the word, because I love what they're doing, and that's what this community is all about. Anyways, fam, now for a recap what I covered with you here in today's show. We broke down the latest technical analysis, as well as analysts issuing a dire warning that the Bitcoin price can plunge to $14,000 as I shared his target. We also discussed Glassnode founders predict the Bitcoin price will soar above 100,000 to a new all-time high sooner than expected. We also discussed ex-Goldman Sachs executive Raoul predicting the crypto market cap to surpass $10 trillion valuation after the family offices and institutions arrive, which we all know is a given. We also discussed that the Bitcoin halving will likely send the Bitcoin price to $148,000 by July 2025, according to Pantera Capital. And we also discussed the bullish price prediction from Fidelity, one of the largest asset managers in the world, predicting the Bitcoin price to touch $100 million by 2035, as well as hitting $1 billion, 10x that by the time of 2038. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments.